Hi, this evening we're gonna have a look at We Are the Champions by Queen or Freddy Mercury. The jury is still out on that one. It's a sing-along, but for a sing-along it's pretty complicated, so perhaps worth looking into. Let's start right away. First play the melody in the right hand of the intro. Don't worry, I'm not gonna sing. Right, we all know that one. But interestingly, in the left hand, there are only two chords, two minor chords, which adds to the moody sound of the intro. And the first of those minor chords is G minor, just a G minor, so 3 notes of G minor, and then a G1 octave above. And that's played with. Yeah? And then the second chord is, of course, and that is a D minor with a flat 7 added for extension, for extra richness. So together that sounds like you notice there's a difference in playing the two chords. The first chord, G minor, is played in an arpeggio, a slow arpeggio upwards, and then a fast run downwards. So same notes downwards. Again, the arpeggio, the slow arpeggio going up, and then the fast run down. Right? And then the second chord is just 2 steps. Stabs with a B. Stabs. Right? Together. And then the next 2 bars, it's the same, but a bit more with a swing feel. Because now the D minor 7 is also played in arpeggio. Yeah? Okay. So. Step. So the right hand was a little bit embellished for that second part. Notice that I took the 7th with me in my thumb here. You see? We now have arrived at the second part of the intro. The first part was in minor, and the second part is in major. 2 major chords. First part, 2 minor chords. Second part, 2 major chords. And that's what gives it its uplifting sound. So. Stop right there. That was already a 3rd chord. So, what are these chords? The first one is a B flat major, and the second one is an E flat major. That's an E flat major. So again, 2 chords and the melody on top. It's with a big swing feeling. And again, that is achieved using an arpeggio in the left hand. You have to control yourself because you start wobbling away. Now, to put what we've been doing into context, I've prepared a little board. Here you are. So, if you remember at the start, we started out in G minor and then alternated to the D minor 7 and back to G minor, D minor 7. And the next half of the intro was B flat major and then alternating to E flat major and back again. So that was the intro, and you can see that these chords are part of a group of 6 chords, which together form the primary chords of the key of B flat major. So we were all the time, all the while, playing in the key of B flat major. Now what's going to happen, because we're about to move to the chorus, we are the champions. We're going to move to the key of C major, which are these 6 chords. So somewhere in between we have to modulate, that's the word. So if you change keys, then you're modulating through some chord to the other key. So what chord is that going to be? Well, the 2 choices, D minor or F major. That's going to be F major. The whole part again. C major. The last chord was an F major. Hear it ringing? It sounds as we have come home. It's the tonic of a new key, but we have to move to C. So what happened? We landed in an intermediate key, which is F major. And again, I'm going to take my board. So Mercury is really a cunning guy. So this was B flat major. This is C major. But in between, if you take these chords, these 6 chords, so it's the key of F major. So he stops a while in F major, only to move on right away to C major. And it goes like this. So this is F major. And it goes to the G, which is not part of F major. Full G, and G is the dominant of C. And we've landed in our new key, the final key for the chorus, which is C major. So it's not a straight modulation from B flat major to C major, but there is an intermediate stop in F major. Very, very short stop, only 2 chords really. Fascinating. Yeah, perhaps a little word on the little run we had from the F major chord to G major. So that went like... Now, what is this? Well, very simple. It's the 3 notes of the F major chord. And you take them in an arpeggio. Yeah? And then when you get at the top, you add the G, which is actually the 9th of the F major chord. So it go like... Here, that's the 9th G. And then you go to the full-blown G chord. So we have arrived now at the chorus, which we know by now is in C major. So I'll play it in its entirety. Now, let's explain what we did here. We are in C major, so we kind of logically start in C major. That's an E minor. That's A minor. That's the F major chord going up to the G major chord. Back to C. From C major to E minor. F major. And that's a change from F major to D minor. But D minor and F major have two notes in common. So the F and the A. So you don't need you hit them here. So you don't need to change them. You can walk down the F or the E to the D. So you keep hitting the F and the A. And then we move into jazz territory with a 2-5. And then we move into church territory with a plagal cadence. Plagal cadence. Plagal cadence is when you go from the fourth chord, which is in this case, because we're in C major, is the F major chord, to the fourth minor in chord, and that resolves to the C. It's often used in church music, so that's why it's called the plagal cadence. Well, I think it sounds wonderful. We can, of course, use the whiteboard to explain the chorus. We start in C major, going to E minor, to A minor. Then we walk the F chord up to the G chord. Then we add the little jazz thing with a 2-5. In this case, a D minor 7 chord going to a G7 chord, which is the dominant chord in C major. And then finally the F major chord changing to the F minor chord. And that was a plagal cadence. And the plagal cadence always resolves to the tonic. The tonic is, in this case, C. Back to square one. And then finally we have the sort of outro to the chorus. And that goes like... So the outro starts in C major. Now that is a kind of special chord. It's an E diminished, so these three notes, an E, G, and a B flat. And They're highly unusual, and especially as a triad. 3 notes. Usually, if they're used as a tetrachord, so 4 notes, and they're often used in spooky movies, and goes like. Spooky, eerie, but somehow it sits there and it doesn't sound out of place. So that's an A flat major. Remember that one? That's the F minor of the plagal cadence. And the chorus is in C major, so almost any C major piece, the second last chord is a dominant chord, which in this case is a G7. And we're back to square one. C major. I hope you enjoyed this, and see you next time. Bye bye.